All right.
record, and then let's see here. I need to go. Hello.
Hello.
Don't talk back to me. Hold on. It didn't fully load here. I gotta get it to load.
That's
Now
what
it
your
should
mom
load.
said.
That's. I don't know. It could be what my mom said. Switch to the old broadcaster. Okay, here's the old broadcaster. Go down. There we go. Start broadcast is there, and then I think I have to be broadcasting to record. Start broadcast. It's not coming up all the way though. There we go. Now it's going. Audio. Start broadcast. All right, now we're fucking up. All right, we are live.
Live.
It is.
Live.
See, now you're gonna get in trouble. It's Diver and Samurai. This is not our normal night.
And we're fairly
Um,
sober.
yeah, this is not a normal. Well, it's not supposed to be a normal show. We're not really drinking and doing things like that. But the problem is, my guest is missing. We were all set up even as early as yesterday, so I'm hoping maybe he's just running late. I sent him a DM letting him know that we were running a couple minutes late. I think that was at like 8:32, and we've been talking for the past probably 6 or 7 minutes, just trying to figure out if we should go live or not. So
And we
hopefully,
are.
yeah, and we decided to just go ahead and go live. Hopefully we'll hear in from Mr. Chope. I'm not really sure what the deal was. We talked about it for the past few days, and like I said, hopefully he's just running behind on something. But yeah, we're live, and I don't know. I'll give him another few minutes before we start talking about him. You have anything to say, Diver? Did you see Matt? Did you see Matt Hughes responded to me?
I did not. I'm surprised.
He is boarding a plane.
I guess better than being bored on a plane.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I was actually surprised to get a response. I really didn't think I'd get one, but that was nice. He's a good old boy. I guess they do shit like that.
Well, hey, we're promoting UFC fighting. Hey, maybe we'll get him on the show and let him talk about what maybe the raw deal is that Will the Chill Chope is getting. I think.
He might, and he might come on. He can talk to all five of our listeners. Um, no, I mean I don't really want to talk about anything but him because I don't want to be on all night. And I'm just not. I figured we'd be on for about 30 minutes, and I'm good with that. Um, I guess we'll start talking about it though, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some people asking him where he is. Go ahead and tweet him. Um, I don't know. Um,
At
but
Asian
anyway,
Will the Kill.
yeah, that's it. I couldn't think of that.
At Asia Will the Kill. Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
tweet him up and tell him he's missing his show. He's missing a deadline. Don't make me cut him from my podcast.
this is unprofessional. Um, no, I mean, I want to bring up that
Boner picture.
no, not the boner picture. I want to bring up the where the hell is it? Here it is. I got to go down one more. I want to bring up his what's the word I forgot earlier that with all my legal shit. Here it is. His
You never followed
appeal.
up.
I wanted his appeal. His
Oh yeah, that's
appealed
a big word. That's a
document.
real big word.
You're an ass. So, Will Chope. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with. I just got another Twitter thing, but I was looking to see if it was him. Anyway, Will Chope. I'm sure everyone knows he got fired Sunday morning. Sunday morning here in the States, hours before his fight with Diego Brandao, which I picked him to win because I don't like Diego Brandao. On Saturday night here in the States, somebody, I don't know who, So sorry, but I'm not good with names. But somebody released that an article about him that brought up the fact that he was discharged. I thought it was dishonorably, but it's actually called, what do they
An
call it?
unhonorable,
No, they call it bad
less than
con.
honorable.
They called it a bad conduct discharge.
Oh yeah.
So I was actually going to ask about that too because I don't know what that means. Um, but he was discharged under bad conduct, and he was in prison for 5 months. And this was from apparently multiple times. Though this court document, only really specifically mentions one, but I think it was multiple times that he assaulted his wife or then wife, and the one that they noted is I might be more sensitive to this than other people. Um, it was rather I had a hard time reading it, and I don't have a hard time with much anything, but it was kind of graphic, so to speak. Um, he talked about slamming her head into the ground and getting a knife and hitting her on the head with the knife and covering her face with a pillow, and that's some pretty serious shit. So off the cuff with me, and I guess we'll talk like he's here. Maybe I don't really know what else to do since he's not responding to me. Off the cuff, he's a piece of shit, and from what I gather, the little bit that I know about him, he would probably say the same. I think he understands that what he did was really fucked up. I wanted to give him a chance to kind of talk us through it mentally, what the fuck was going on. That was my goal. I wanted to hear him talk about it, to hear his tone, and kind of see. You know, I can't stand Chris Brown. I think he is a absolute dirt piece of shit, lower than everything. And it's not
But
because he
he's
beat the shit out of Rihanna.
but he still sells millions of records and sells out arenas.
Yeah, I don't understand it. And he beat Rihanna. That sucks. That's terrible. But I could overlook that because again he served his if he while he was serving time, whatever his sentence, whatever the case may be, if he was remorseful, he has never shown remorse. All he does is kind of cry like a little baby. I wanted to hear Chope's demeanor kind of talking about this stuff and describing it. And I want to see how what did he do to make amends with everything? Because apparently he's fine with his wife. They don't have any problems. They're going to Disney World together. I read somewhere one of his
And
tweets.
she released her Facebook message saying, "Hey, look, we're cool. We're trying to be friendly parents at the very least."
Yeah, then of course there's always the possibility. Who knows if that's really her? That could be a fake account. But I gotta figure. As far as I know, he doesn't lie. I mean, I'm not trying to be compare apples and oranges, but he got in trouble for beating somebody, not lying about it. So I gotta figure he's telling the truth and being truthful when he says they're back together, or not back together, but they're
Amicable.
civil and she's forgive them and all this different stuff. I gotta figure that he's being truthful. I wanted to hear him talk about it. I wanted to see, and I was thinking about it when we talked earlier. I didn't want to hear his story. I figure I have something that's got to be factual. It's a court document. But when you were talking about you wanted to hear it, I started thinking, and I was like, maybe I do want to hear where he says something was, went wrong. Just kind of explain a little bit, because while I want to know what's up, this is to help me kind of form my opinion. It's also a way for him to talk about, what he's got going on. And I had other questions. I wanted to know how this whole thing, the discharge affected him, and what did UFC pay him anything? Who talked to him about it? Things like that. But
Well,
I guess.
as far as the fight goes, he got paid show money and win money, and I'm sure he got his expenses paid to Brazil.
See, and that's what I wanted to ask because I was able to listen to Word on the Street podcast from last night, and they talked about that. And I think Ramses said that he was paid his show money. I didn't know if he was paid his win money. And like, really, what was where did he go? I mean, were they like, dude, we're really sorry. We're like, fuck you. Because I'm
Go.
not sure he should have been cut. I don't. Even if he came off tonight like a shithead, I don't know that I agree he should have been cut. Even if he's Chris Brown level, I don't know that I would think he should be cut.
Why do you think other people in the MMA have done worse and got off and are still fighting?
I don't know. There's see you get into done worse, and I think what Will did was terrible. But you've got and there's three that I can think of relatively recently, and there's probably more that I think someone on the show mentioned BJ Penn. I don't know what that was, but you
Well,
got
hold up.
what?
Let's go back a minute
Yeah,
because we kind of got past where I was going, and
talk
you
talk
know,
for a minute because I'm gonna message him again and tell him we're live. I guess technically I didn't DM him that we're live. I just said I asked if he was around and he didn't respond. Go ahead,
well, you
go ahead and talk.
listen with one ear, and you think about we're hearing one side of the story, and most of the time, and I in no absolute no way condone any type of abuse, especially with a female. Would never hit a woman. Would never talk back to a woman. I just don't see any point in it. Uh, you're a man. You don't do that kind of thing. But I hear an awful lot of stories of a woman can say anything, and guess whose side that the justice is going to take? They're going to take the woman's side every time. Maybe it got that bad. Maybe he admitted it was that bad, but um, maybe he decided, let's, I'm not going to fight it. I'm going to do whatever she says. I'm going to take my punishment, and I'm going to go with it. I don't think it's right that they're going to take the livelihood and the way to pay his child support by cutting him. I mean, he's still drawing money, whether we knew this or not, and they fired him or not. He's still going to draw money. What is he, like 19-4? I mean, he's got a good record. He's a good fighter.
See, I don't know if he's a good fighter. He wasn't expected to win. 19-6. See, I don't. I remember. I do remember the Max Holloway fight because I do like Max Holloway. I didn't realize that was him until just now. So he lost to Max Holloway.
Yeah, but that broke
I
a
almost remember that fight actually.
that
Um,
broke a 4 or 5 win streak he had going. I mean, so he was
it was
winning.
more than that. I don't feel like reading all of them. It looks according to what I'm looking at on SureDog, it was probably double digit win streak. But when you have win streaks, this is my take on it. When you have win streaks, it's hard because a lot of them at that level aren't, you know, they're not against some of the higher caliber. I'm trying to skim through, but I'm getting really distracted, so I'm going to stop. I was trying to skim through and see who he's fought, but that's fucking up my flow. Um, and I see what you're saying about the women thing. Women are always favored in court, but I I don't know, personal experiences. I don't care. I want to know more about anything like that. Um, so, but back to the whether or not he should have been fired. And you got what you were talking about, which I don't fully agree with. Um, but Thiago Silva. Okay, and this is the reason I think he got fired. Thiago Silva got busted what, a month and a half, 2 months ago, for going nuts and threatening his girlfriend or ex. Well, I don't know, estranged girlfriend, maybe his wife, with a gun and put a gun in her mouth, and then he went to her martial arts school and threatened to shoot everybody.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So
sure the SWAT team was called out on that one.
yeah, you know what? That's right. The SWAT team was there. I forgot about that. So
Yeah.
he's coming fresh off the heels of that, and that's bad publicity for the UFC. That's not for really for mixed martial arts because while we as fans can appreciate what the fuck is going on, that doesn't mean anyone else who isn't really a full time fan. They're just kind of lackadaisical, whatever, don't know much about it. That comes across bad because this is a violent sport.
So you
I
mean the people
mean,
who just watch it for the wrecks? I mean the fights. I mean the blood.
your NASCAR is
I'm
so
sorry, I'm
stupid.
messing up
Uh,
NASCAR.
it's just it's not good. It doesn't paint a good picture for a violent sport to have
Was
someone
Tiago
who's violent.
was Tiago cut?
Yeah, he got cut that day. It was pretty fast actually, and that's understandable. And I think if that didn't happen and there wasn't that recent of something along those lines, especially a domestic issue, this guy probably would have at least been able to fight. Whether or not they kept him around, I don't know. A lot of people thought he was going to lose, and then he's 0-2 in the UFC, and they probably would have cut him. If he won, he would have gotten another fight.
How many
So,
fighters do you think are under contract for UFC right now? 100, 200?
oh no, they got hundreds and hundreds of fighters.
And do you think there's nobody in there that's got a criminal background?
Well, yeah, they do. I mean, their fucking 205-pound great Nike promoted champion has got a record. Which that's where we get into. That's why I was, even though I really didn't expect them to come on, it would have been cool if Matt Hughes would have come on. What's the line? Like, we got someone, I don't know if John Jones was convicted of a felony or what, but regardless, we've got a guy who gets cut for beating, and I'm going to say beating, beating his wife, 4 or 5 years ago, or the guy who drives drunk and crashes his car into a pole, or shit, throw Rampage in there, the guy who gets in his truck with his name all over the side of it and runs over a bunch of people. I mean, if you ask me a professional sports team, I'm going to take fighting out of it. Let's just say a sports team. Let's take basketball. If you said, look, one of these three people were cut as a basketball player, and these are the things that they're convicted of, who do you think got cut? I would probably go with the Rampage.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, that's what I would think would be cut, and I would think it would be immediate, not Dana White going and bailing him out of jail and all those things. I'm not saying it wasn't nice what Dana White did, and he certainly didn't have to do it because he fuck Rampage and all the bullshit he says. You know, he was taken care of. To me, sorry, I was checking my DM, still nothing. But to me, that would have been an immediate cut by any other sports team. Like that's what I would have figured would happen. So I just don't know that where everything is, especially now, and I'm gonna take his word for it that him and his wife or ex-wife, I keep saying wife, ex-wife are doing well and things like that. I'll believe that. I don't know that he should have been cut. And the little bit that I saw from that Guillermo, I think it was Guillermo Cruz, the interview from Sunday, he genuinely seemed remorseful. I just wanted to know how. What did he do? But he seemed, like he knew he made a mistake, and apparently had made amends, for that mistake.
Yeah, I agree. He paid for what he did. He's not been in any trouble since then that we know of. And there is a precedence of people being let off. And like you said, where's the line? Is it a class 2 misdemeanor, or do we go to a felony? I mean, as far
Yeah.
as I know, he did
Oh,
not commit a felony. I mean, he's charged with something. I don't know what.
it,
In military courts, different, I'm sure.
and very quickly, Dana White. I think the phrasing that Dana White used, I think it was domestic violence, which I understand. That's a visual thing. That's a perception thing. How are the people going to perceive you, a violent sport, having someone who commits active violence on his spare time? So I kind of get it, but I also kind of see that they could have handled this differently, especially if they let Will Chope win and fight. They could have kind of made something out of him as far as how you can turn your life around.
Yeah,
They could have turned him into, again, I remember liking the fight, but I don't remember him fighting, so I don't know what caliber of a fighter he is. But let's say he was a decent fighter. Let's say he won and went on to win another one. He's a poster boy not only for the UFC but for other people and businesses and groups of how you can take your life and completely turn it around.
yes.
You fucked up. He acknowledged why he fucked up. I was an alcoholic. I was a stupid fucking kid.
And my wife was cheating on me.
Yeah, and I didn't understand how to handle anything because I was a child. I don't know because he was young. He was like 19 and really fucking old, I guess now. But you're still a child at 19.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're doing at 19. And again, he should have gotten his ass. I hope he got his ass beat for what he did too. I hope when he went in for his 5 months of confinement, they beat the shit out of him. At least every other day. And that maybe that happened, and that's part of what helped him. But
You
it,
never know.
he could have, there could have been something. It could have been handled differently, I think. And do I know what the fuck I'm talking about? No, but that's just how I see things. I don't know that
Well,
I ever would have cheered for him, but there should have been the option for other people too.
Well, I also look at it, and I haven't been close to a situation like this, and you probably have been closer than I have, and I'm aware of a lot of things. But she says, "Hey, I want you away from me," and he says, "Look, I just want my credit card back," and she says, "No," and he says, "Well," and maybe he got rough with her, and maybe she says, "Hey, I'm going to tell everybody you pulled a knife on me, and I'm going to get custody of the kid, and if you go along with it." You know what? We'll share custody and we'll be cool. And that's her way of getting back at him. You never
See,
know. It could have happened that way.
and this is kind of what we talked about earlier. I am gonna take everything that you just said and throw it out of court because the court transcript officially, this is what he admitted guilt to, said that that's what he did.
But what if part of
So,
the deal was if she said, you don't agree with this, I will get custody of the child.
but
And
we're
you'll never see
dealing,
your child again. And what,
we're
what would you say? I'd agree with her. I'd say, yep, I did it. I did every bit of it.
we're dealing in what ifs, and this is the type of thing that he could have said, no, that's not what happened. This is what he could say. This is all fucking my fault. Everything that's in there is accurate. This is the type of thing I wanted to hear how he handled it. How did he respond to it? What was he
Yep.
going through? What is he going through now? I wanted to hear that kind of things. That's what I wanted to hear from this interview. Unfortunately, we've been on the air for probably 20 minutes or something like that, and I don't know that we're going to hear that because we have a no-show and non-responsive nothing for our guest, our first guest. Hopefully, by the way, we will have Will Campazano on this weekend. Hopefully, that will go better. Um, hopefully, we'll actually have a guest. If not, maybe we'll just, what, we could do impressions of Vanderlei. We could have Vanderlei Silva as a guest.
How, hey,
And then, you know what we could do? I could subtitle it when I put it on Facebook with just a bunch of garbage that Vanderlei Silva's gay and stuff.
it's funny how Vanderlei gets all up in Chel's face, speaking Portuguese or whatever language he speaks. But then when they get serious, he talks English.
I think he speaks Orc because I think he's from.
Nuna, Nuna, Mork for
He
Mork.
No, he's from Lord of the Rings. He looks like one of the orcs, one of the monsters in Lord of the Rings. Um, yeah, I mean, how long have we been on? What are we at? I've been recording for 23 minutes, so we've been on for about 23 minutes. It's 9:01. See, I don't want to. I don't know that I really want to get into other discussions. I think we should just keep this as it is. But I feel like here I'm gonna send him one more DM and say we're wrapping up. This
Well,
is your
and
last
throw
chance
out the
if you want to
message
come on.
if he wants to come in Saturday at some point. If we have time for him, he's welcome to come. Hey, let him get his side out. I think we've presented two sides
I
here. You probably a little more than me on the guilty side, and me probably more on the sympathetic side. But hey,
figured
I'd like to hear from him.
we know which one's gonna beat his wife. Um, oh wait, one of us isn't married. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I'm saying we're wrapping up. This is your last chance to come on tonight, and then I'll tell him he can come on Saturday, but he might not respond. He might have said, I don't want to fucking do this show. Um,
well, he
fucking
probably saw it.
Matt Hughes might have said maybe he's trying to work something out with the UFC, and they said no, don't do any fucking interviews right now. I don't know. He retweeted somebody not long ago. I didn't read the article, but he retweeted someone's article. So I think that was while I was teaching. So I think he's somewhat around. Maybe he's spending time with his daughter. I don't know, and lost track of time. I have no clue what he's doing. Um, but I I I kind of want to just keep this as this and fucking not do other topics tonight. Just call it a day. I'll give him we'll give him like 2 minutes to respond to the DM I just sent him that we're wrapping up, and if I don't hear anything from him, we'll wrap up. And if he reaches out to me and wants to come on Saturday, cool. We'll have him come on, and maybe we'll start with him, and then we'll go to Will Campazano because that's going to be a lot more fun, I think. Because
A lot more
when I
funner.
well, I want to hear about the erection. I just want to hear what happened and what kind of shit did he get backstage and all that stuff.
We,
And I actually, huh?
he was good. He was a very good sport about that too. I did like that. He
He
was like, "Hey,
was he
caption this picture." That was funny.
Yeah, he handled it pretty well. And I also want to ask him about the last weigh-ins just to hear what the fuck that was like backstage when there was a fucked up scale and everyone's missing weight. Um,
Yeah, I'd be interested in
so
that. I would think they would calibrate that thing. You know,
I
I do
see.
it before.
It's the hotel, and that's where we get into should the UFC supply scales because they relied on the hotel. Um,
Yeah, if you're
so
bringing a 16-foot octagon with you on a truck, a scale's not going to make that much difference.
yeah, we'll see what happens with that too. But all right, well I haven't heard anything back from him, so I'm thinking it's just not going to happen, which is unfortunate because I know there were at least I think we would have had at least 10 listeners because I think there were some people who were going to listen who probably because I don't think anyone listens except MMA enthusiasts. And I know
Word on the
I
street, better listen, or I'm going to have a little talk with him.
I don't think they listen to shit. Um, Katie Ellis listens. I know she listens. Um,
You mean Pretty
so
Katie?
yeah, she listens. I know she listens. Um, so I think there are a handful of other people who are going to listen. Anyone who's still in, I don't know if anyone's listening right now, probably not. But if there's anyone listening or YouTube or whatever, I, I'm sorry. I fully expected him to be here. I didn't really think we were going to have a flaky situation. And shit happens. So we'll see. We'll see what he says. Um, if he says anything to me, maybe I'll try to get him to go public with it, just so everyone knows I'm not full of shit. Oh yeah, he's gonna get this guy. I, you know, I thought I was. Um, so, all right. Well, we're coming up on 30 minutes, and I think that's long enough. We'll be back this weekend. Did you say Saturday? Did you talk to Pants?
Yeah, I think Saturday's cool.
All right, we're gonna do something Saturday. I don't know. We'll see what time. I wanted to kind of a run into the World Series of Fighting Fights. I don't know what time those start. Those probably start at like 10ish. So maybe we'll jump on 8 or 9 or something like that. But we'll be on this weekend, normal shit, and hopefully we'll have Will Campazano. I say hopefully because this one isn't going as well as I thought it was gonna go. Because I can't do an impression of Will Chope. Um, so we have no guest apparently. So hopefully we'll actually have the guest on Saturday. Um, but yeah, have a good rest of the week, everybody. Mad Samurai,
Tahoe boater.
and I don't know. I guess we're fucking out. Oh, no more music for now. Anyway, that's been fucking us up. All right, I'll
Well,
see y'all later.
yeah, for retards.
See ya.
Later.
All right. Well, that was fucking.